Okay, so to make it harder, we're going to of course use the next level, and I've chosen to switch to the green deck because now I'm not going to worry about the suits or the colors, right? So the fact that this deck, everything is green on white, is actually beneficial because the clubs and the hearts, they make no difference, right? So now I'm focusing on the number. Now, there's two reasons this is more difficult. The obvious is because now, of course, looking at the numbers, the odds are 1 in 13. But the other reason it's more difficult is because now I have to associate in a different way. I can't indirectly associate, I have to, or I can't directly, I now have to indirectly associate, right? Like with a heart, there's a lot of things I can do to represent heart. With a 5, there's only so much I can do, right? So it becomes more precise. But of course that's the point. We're adding difficulty, so we want precision, right? So get good at the suits before you come here. But it's basically the exact same process. I'll hold these up to the camera because they're green, they're harder to see. But same thing, quick shuffle, and then do your thing, right? So this is a queen, 5, 7, queen, whoops, ace, 2, 7, I'll do 2 more, 4, and king. So, and that's it. Then of course stop and shuffle. Now, like I said, because we have to be more precise in what we're doing, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So with the clairvoyant, the idea is hopefully to get the same things, right? Direct, right? The 5, the 4. If we don't, we're hoping to get something that directly connects, right? We might get 4 strawberries, right? For the number 4. We might get 9 peas for the number 9, right? So then we just have to kind of do our thing. Now, with the clairaudient, of course, we're hoping to hear it, right? Now, in this case, if you hear 4, great, but associating with 4 is more difficult. You can count, like if you hear 4 heart horns, or if you hear 4 bell rings or something, right? But that's gets costly, it gets time consuming fairly quickly, right? So that's not such a great idea. It works, but it's really hard, right? So with the clairgustatoris and the olfactus, of course, now it becomes very difficult because there's not a lot that associates, right? You can do yes and no and play the game of 20 questions, right? Is it 05? Is it, you know, is it above 3? Is it lower than 6? And until you get it. But it's a really long, time-consuming way. Now, with the clairtactylus, you actually have some other options, right? So it's another one that opens up a lot of doors because now on my skin, I'll use the palm of my hands, I could actually feel the number, right? I could feel like taps too, like the tones or whatever with auditory, but I might actually feel it, right? So I might feel someone drawing a 2, I might feel someone drawing a 9 or whatever, right? So my body can be a guide, and I might feel it on my arm, I might feel it on my back, my stomach. It doesn't matter where you feel it as long as you can distinguish what it is. And then, of course, the intuitive, it's just going to be there. It's just going to, you know, you got to go with your first instinct and hope that it's there. So that's the next level of difficulty. We're just making it harder because now, of course, like I said, we have to associate in different ways. So the reason that we have a variety of tools is because things like the olfactus and the gustatoris that kind of get left at the side. Cards are only so good for those 2 senses, and different things are better at different things, right? Like the other 3, the vision, the auditory, and the tactile, those are actually really good with playing cards. We can go all out with them. And intuition, which just uses whatever. So that's it. So trust yourself. Listen to everything that's going on in your body. Focus on every part of your body because you might even feel it on the soles of your feet. Who knows? So that's the next level of difficulty. So now we'll take it up one further notch and we'll go back from there. So for the next level of difficulty, I've switched to the purple deck because I want it to be more difficult, right? You can use the red and black, it's fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go all out and look for everything, right? So we're looking for the king of clubs, the Queen of Hearts, right? So now because we're looking for that level of precision, we have to focus on everything, right? So with that, you can do it indirectly, right? I could limit the fact that, okay, this is a club by using what I did before and then figuring out the number like I did in the last one, right? So you're using steps, but the end results are exactly the same. The odds are the same. Now with these, because of course we're going for more precision, and it's a fairly good jump from 1 out of 13 to now 1 out of 52, that if you find that that's too difficult, you can stick to just like this would be a red king instead of a king of clubs, because then of course you've limited the suits. You're now just using the color and this card. That gives you 1 out of 26 instead of 1 out of 52. But I'd only use that if this is too hard and 1 out of 13 is too easy. But just so you've got it. So again, the process, like everything else, is the same. Quick shuffle and then figure out the card. So in this case, this is a 9 of diamonds. This is 8 of spades. Move them up a little bit. That's an 8 of hearts. That's 8 of clubs. 8 of diamonds. 9 of hearts. 2 of clubs. 4 of diamonds, and 2 of hearts. So then again, stop and shuffle. So with the abilities, it's basically the same thing. It's just now we're using more in depth, right? At this point, if I'm going to get that directly, it's got to be pretty much exact, right? For the clairvoyant, I'm going to hopefully see a 2 of hearts or 2 hearts, right? It's going to be pretty much fairly exacting at that point. And that's what we're hoping for, right? Because there's not much you could do. Like, you can't associate too much. You can get some, but again, the idea at this point is to go for precision as much as possible. Precision, precision. Now, with the audient, of course, at this point, the hope is you're going to hear it, right? The 5 of diamonds. Just the way it works, right? Then, of course, olfactus and gustatoris, they're pretty much out of the mix. Other than doing the 20 questions from hell, there's not a lot you can do with them, right? You could ask, is it, you know, limit out the suit and then figure out the number, and you're going to be a while, but you can do it. And then, of course, with the tactile, it opens up that door even further, right? Like before, using the palm, if I get a 2, now I might get a diamond, right? So then 2 of diamonds, right? I might get a 2 over here and a diamond over here. And so tactile really actually does open up a lot of doors with playing cards. So that's a really beneficial thing. But that's the hope, right? And then, of course, the intuitive is just going to be there. Bang. So it always works out the exact same. You're just adding layers of difficulty to make it more complicated, right? With the clairvoyant, always vision, direct or indirect, however the imagery works. With the audient, always auditory in some form or fashion, direct or indirect. With the olfactus and the gustatoris, pretty much you only have indirect, you only have association, because a 2 doesn't have a flavor, it doesn't have a smell, right? So you can only associate. And with tactile, you can pretty much go the entire range. You can do different body parts. You could actually feel taps even, like 1, 2, you know, 1 for red, even 2 for black, whatever, right? Like the range is actually pretty phenomenal with tactile. Like it just, you can't imagine, like, and pay attention, like I said, to your whole body. You just don't know. And then of course the intuitive, it's just going to be there. Like with the intuitive, always go with your first impression, your first instinct, the flash, because typically that's what it is, right? There's not much you can do other than trust. Intuition comes best with trust. And as I said, using all these other tools and using the cards and stuff to develop these abilities is also hopefully going to help you build intuition, and that's the point. So there you go. Now, as a last note, for some of you, I know this kind of sort of sounds like it's dubbed. It isn't. I'm doing this live. Of course, I have other tools at my disposal, like a mirror. I just have one sort of hidden off the camera because, of course, I'm trying to demonstrate I'm not using my ability. Just so there's no confusion. So that's it for playing cards.